Filip Hronek played 46 games for the Red Wings last season, scoring 5 goals, adding 18 assists for a total of 23 points and a plus-minus of -10. Filip Hronek did well last season in Detroit. However, does he have what it takes to become a game-changing defenseman? To see if Filip Hronek could be the Red Wings' next game-changing defenseman, we're going to have to look at other game-changing defensemen like Drew Doughty and Duncan Keith, both of who took very different approaches to getting to that level. Duncan Keith was selected in the 2002 NHL draft in the late second round. He didn't go on to play into the NHL until 3 seasons after being drafted in the 05-06 season, and didn't really break out until the 2009-2010 season, where he had 69 points in 82 games. However, Drew Doughty had a different path. He was drafted 3rd overall in his NHL draft. He made the LA Kings next season, and he was delayed 1 season until he became the true threat that we know of him today as. So there is no formula for getting a high-end defenseman. I do think we should look at Hronek as someone in Keith's shoes, because until the 2009-2010 season, he was playing behind an all-right at best team. And then, once he was given forwards who could score with Patrick Kane and Jonathan Toews, he produced more rapidly. This also could be seen in Detroit's defense, more specifically, Morgan Rielly. Now that Toronto has an elite offense, he is producing much more rapidly. So now that we know that offense output is influenced by the players in front of them, but if we look at Filip Hronek's stats at the World Championship last year playing for the same team, he earned 1 goal, 2 assists for a total of 3 points and was a -1 through 8 games. However, this year, through just 5 games, he earned 3 goals, 4 assists for a total of 7 points and a +6, and leads all defensemen in the tournament in points. So his stats actually aren't bad at all. He was playing behind a team that outside of Larkin, Mantha, Bertuzzi, and Anthony Ciu couldn't get it out of their zone, let alone score. However, we do have those guys and a lot of talented forwards on their way, so his stats should only stay at the 30 to 40 point range for a couple more seasons. This, of course, meaning he plays at least most of the season. But of course, being a game-changing defenseman relies on both sides of the puck, offense and defense. Like I've already touched on earlier, he owns a much higher plus-minus at the World Championships than he did last year. He didn't play with the Red Wings until last season, but we can look at Grand Rapids more specifically in the playoffs, where there is better competition. Both of those last 2 playoffs ended in 5 games, but Hronek's plus-minus went from a -5 to a straight 0. Yeah, those numbers aren't great, but neither was Grand Rapids' performances in the playoffs. Either way, you can see the jump in stats that just 1 year has made. He's only 21, so he's got time to still develop those skills further. I think this next NHL season will be very important. If he makes the jump from good to great, I expect him to lock down a full-time position with the Red Wings, and if he really performs well, push the Red Wings into competing for a spot in the playoffs. What do you think? Is Filip Hronek the next game-changing defenseman for the Red Wings? Let me know down in the comments. Until next time, lights out in the red light district.